we can have everyone's attention, please. We're going to start the next part of the program, but we do need everybody's attention. We're glad that you're having a good time and enjoying your food. But this is a part of the day that maybe you didn't realize was happening exactly at this time, but it is. And we have two students, two seniors, who you all have selected, and teachers as well had input into the selection of these two students to speak to you as your senior orators. And with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to two of our lower school teachers who the seniors chose to introduce them today. So if Mrs. Fink and Mr. Parker would come on up.
All right, first thing is congratulations to all of you. You guys have put in a lot of hard work. We know as teachers how hard and demanding that we try to push everyone, and academically, athletically, and everything. And, you know, big round of applause to you guys. So if you guys could clap it up real quick, please. So, thank you. Ms. Pagone asked me the other day if I would come up and speak, and at first I panicked. And kind of still panicking a little bit, so please give me a little bit of leeway. This class was my first year here at Holy Trinity, my first experience teaching 5th graders and coaching 6th graders. And I had the pleasure of coaching many of you out here for flag football and a little bit of basketball. And the one thing that always stuck out about me, with this person was how dedicated she was, how she was always giving it her all, and how she could just tear up the boys. She beat a lot of the boys and made a lot of them look silly, and we thought that was awesome. And then a couple years ago, she would come down for summer camp, and all the kids were always excited. They'd always come up to us and say, Mr. Parker, Mr. Smith, is Ashley coming today? Is Ashley coming today? Where's Ashley at? And we'd all say, I don't know, we're not in charge of Ashley, but I'm sure she'll be here. And they would either stand right by us or right by the gate, and they just were fixated on when Ashley would come. And they would, as soon as she walked through that gate or came through the gym, they were always right there. Hey Ashley, hey Ashley. And they would talk to her, and they would just kind of follow her around. And she was great with them. She was great with the kids, teaching them basketball, sometimes with the little kids, with pre-K. So I was very honored to introduce Ashley here. So Ashley, come on up. Thank you.
Hi guys. So today has been something that I've looked forward to since I was in 6th grade when the seniors came down and visited us. And it's crazy to me to think that it's already been 6 years since probably I heard someone say 35. There's 35 of us that walked these halls together as students for the last time 6 years ago. Back when our biggest problems in life included who sat next to who on the buses during field trips, fearing what life would be like without having a 25-minute recess break the following year once we had to become mature 7th graders. Or when our school decided to put down blue tape in the middle of the hallways, which forced us to walk in single file lines as teachers held their hands up like this and screamed at us for us to be at 0 level, which for those of you that didn't go to the lower school meant just like that. We couldn't talk, we had to just walk in a straight line. It was kind of scary, but whatever, beside the point. And probably the biggest problem, who gave who lice? The entire last 2 years of elementary school, no one knew where it came from or how long it even really lasted, but eventually those problems passed. Once we got to middle school, we all gradually forgot about recess and all of the other problems that we thought would lead to the end of the world. But then new problems started to rise. And this cycle constantly repeats itself, and there's nothing that we can really do to stop it. But we can change our perspective on the on the problems that we're faced with. Currently, a major problem that all of us are facing right now is deciding on the perfect college for us. Some of you seem to have known where you wanted to go since the moment you were born, but if you're like me and you like to procrastinate everything, I have some advice that one of the smartest men on the planet gave me. A few weeks ago, I was talking to Mr. Herentier, that's my number, anyways, about how stressed I was about making the wrong choice, and after a little while of conversation, he made me realize that you can't make the wrong choice because there's not a wrong choice. If you choose a college and it doesn't feel right to you, you're not stuck there. And this is something to me that you don't hear that often, people leaving the college that they chose, and I think it's because people are scared. You're scared that people are gonna say something like, oh, like, why didn't you just choose the other one in the first place? Like, you don't know what's gonna be right for you in the beginning, so it's okay to be able to know what's best for you after you've already messed up or whatever and chose the wrong college. And you might feel embarrassed about this, but at least you'd be learning something. You acquire the ability to be able to decipher the difference in simply living and being alive. Some people learn this early on, and others spend their whole lives in a shell, afraid to take a shot in the dark because they're constantly in fear of making the wrong choices. This might seem like a really deep analogy for this topic, but when you actually think about it, it's true. From elementary school to now, and for the rest of our lives, we're going to be faced with challenges. And it is up to us to either face these challenges or to turn away. And in order to live life to its fullest potential, it is necessary to not veer away from these obstacles, but to look at them as blessings. If you aren't running into challenges, then that means that you aren't pushing yourself. And I truly believe that once you're able to see that something's holding you back, such as being at the wrong college, and you actually take the initiative to do something about it, you're setting yourself up for success. You don't rightfully earn success if you are afraid to face and overcome problems when they come to you. So, the most important message or thing that I want to get across today is no matter who you are or what your future plans may be, challenge yourself. And don't fear what's next, just be excited for it. And don't be the person who looks back on their life and wishes that they would have taken that one job or that one internship that could have changed their lives. Just go for it and create your own future. So I just want to say I really love you guys. I'm so happy to have grown up with you. So thanks for choosing me to be up here.
Good afternoon, Holy Trinity Seniors. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Mrs. Fink, and I'm the 5th and 6th grade math teacher here at the lower school. And before I say another word, that zero level thing, it never happens. I'm honored to be here today to introduce an exceptional young man, Max Pagan, who's going to speak to us in just a few minutes. However, there were a few words I wanted to say about Max before it's his turn. Mr. Parker, I also was in a bit of a panic over how I could include everything I wanted to say. But when I started writing down a few ideas that came to mind when I think about Max, I suddenly realized that I've said this before. Actually, much of what I wanted to say today was written down 6 years ago in report card comments. First quarter 2012, I wrote, I'm so pleased to have Max back in my homeroom this year. He's off to a great start in 6th grade. Max is constantly respectful and on task. His aardvark poster and Tanzania PowerPoint in humanities show how Max combines his artistry and thoughtful intent with great success. In math, he is applying effective problem-solving skills with consistent accuracy. Max is a responsible, conscientious student who can be counted on to be engaged and interested. We moved on through the quarter. In second quarter, 2012, Mrs. Rubin wrote, Max impresses us with his mind, his work ethic, and his character. He thinks outside the box and engages in class discussion, offering unique insight. He is an all-around great student with unlimited potential. We came to the end of third quarter, 2013, and we hear from Mrs. Boats. Max is a respectful young man with an exceptional work ethic. It is evident that he enjoys learning. It is evident from his work and contributions to class discussions that he has enjoyed reading Crispin and learning about the Middle Ages. Max's research project on Robin Hood was thorough, and his presentation was engaging. I love having Max in class. I enjoy watching him work on science labs with Harry, Neil, and Nikhil. They always have something creative they want to add to the experiment. These are truly great minds at work. Well, we came to the end of sixth grade. And we wrote that the sixth grade team believes Max is well prepared for his academic future. He is an excellent, well-rounded student with tremendous potential. It is fitting that the culmination of his efforts be represented by the Colonel Charles B. Thomas Award. We congratulate him on a successful sixth grade year and look forward to hearing of his future accomplishments as he moves on to the new challenges of the upper school. Well, that was all true then, and it's still true today. Max's attributes that were being recognized when he was 12 have only deepened and matured through his junior and senior high school years. Scholar, athlete, musician, this young man carries with him what we teachers hope and pray that our students take with them into the future. An outstanding character, unshakable integrity, a thirst for knowledge, a strong, positive work ethic, and a loving, caring spirit. Max, I am so proud of you. And you are once again prepared to move on into a bright future. And once again, I look forward to hearing of your future accomplishments. Max Pagan.
Try not to cry. All right. Thank you, Miss Fink, for that. That really does mean a lot. Miss Fink was my teacher for 2 years. She taught me in 5th and 6th grade, and I did so much growing in that class, and it was all because of her, so thank you so much again. And actually, I want to talk about growth, but first, what's up, seniors? All right, good. Okay, I need y'all to make me a promise. Okay, no more in chapel, no more timid, like, senior yells. We're going to be loud every time. Thank you. All right? Yes. All right. So, growth. So, a few months ago, I found myself standing somewhere I never thought I'd return to, the junior high building. And it was, oh man, it was scary. I'm not going to lie, I was scared out of my mind. There were these kids there just like bouncing off the walls. They're like crazy. They're on like sugar highs from donuts that they're buying at Break. And they're each like 2 feet tall. And like, I'm standing there amongst these little gremlins, and I'm like, was I this small ever? And you might have asked yourself that question as well. Like, sure, I might have grown a few inches in 7th grade, but I wasn't like as loud or like scary as they are now, right? But the thing is, like, we totally were. We were those small, tiny little gremlins in the hallways scaring the other seniors. And so it's amazing to see how much we've grown and how far we've come. And I'm sure a lot of you guys noticed that today. Coming back here for the first time in years, you probably noticed that the hallways feel narrower and the ceilings feel lower and the desks are a lot smaller. And we've really come a long way. Sometimes it feels like it took an eternity to get where we are now, and sometimes it feels like seconds. But we're here, and the journey has taught us so much. We've learned so many things that we'll carry with us through the rest of throughout our journey into college, like how to take notes, how to study for a test, or if you're anything like me, how to ask for an extension. We've learned how to have fun, how to make friends, and how to laugh at ourselves. And I think we learned a few other things too, like math or something. But the lessons that stick with us the most and have the most impact on who we are today are the ones that happened outside the classroom. All our failures, like getting cut from the basketball team, our successes, like our first college acceptance letters, and our embarrassing moments, like getting caught playing video games in class. Absolute best ones. These experiences have molded us into who we are today and built our characters. And even though we're still young, I'd say we've already become extremely respectable, intelligent, and successful people. We're going places, man. Our school has collegiate athletes, Ivy League scholars, talented musicians, and artists. I could go on, so I will. We have dancers, pilots, entrepreneurs, photographers, so many photographers, rappers, comedians, buttermilk drinkers. This class is the most interesting group of people I've ever met in my life. And having been blessed to get to know all of you, I can say with absolute certainty that you all will go on to do great things. For some of us, college is approaching too quickly. But I'd venture a guess that for most of us, it might not be coming fast enough. Still, you've got to admit that college can be pretty scary to think about. All the familiarity of home will suddenly be gone, and we're going to have to start from scratch, making friends, learning the ropes, being freshmen again. Gross. Ugh. You might not feel like you're ready. I know most of the time I don't. But if you feel like that now, I encourage you to take another look outside, at the narrow hallways, at the low ceilings, and at the tiny desks. Because you have grown an incredible amount, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, even if you don't realize it. You're ready. We've got this. But before we take that next step towards the rest of our lives, I want to ask a favor of all of you. I want you to spend some time during our last months of high school, looking back on all you've accomplished and experienced. Take a nostalgia trip. Maybe you'll want to visit some of your favorite grade school teachers, or go back to your favorite childhood restaurant, or even dust off the old Wii and play a few rounds of Mario Kart. Remember the old days fondly, and be thankful for how they influenced you, and hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. Because all this personal growth I keep bringing up is far from over. We're going to college. College. These are going to be the most formative years of our lives. The growth has just begun, and I'm incredibly excited. I can't wait to see what all of you accomplish. Thank you all so much for being the greatest group of friends I could have ever asked for. You guys are incredible. Go seniors.
Thank you, Max and Ashley. Really appreciate your words, and we appreciate both of you. And I know Mrs. Fink described Max back in 6th grade as having a strong work ethic and character. And I think that applies to both Max and Ashley. They both are hard workers, and their character is very impeccable. They know what's right, and they do it except for wearing the belt, Ashley. But that also says a lot about you all, because you chose them to be your speakers today. So I think you all realize and value character and hard work. So give yourselves a round of applause for picking those two great students. It's also my pleasure. How many of you enjoyed lunch today? Yeah. Pretty good, wasn't it? Well, we're very fortunate here at Holy Trinity that the Cobb Green family are the ones who own Makoto's, and they sponsored today's lunch. So they're not here today, but give them a round of applause. All right. We are on the countdown to graduation. Yeah. How many days? 87. Yeah, pretty good. Surprised you knew that. All right, we're gonna play a little game here. When we say you graduated first in your class at Holy Trinity, it doesn't necessarily mean you were the valedictorian. Briggs is graduating third, so you know that's not what it means. I can do this. He knows I love him. All right, so what it means is you've been here the longest. To sit in that first chair in that first row means you've been here the longest, and your name then starts with A, B, or C, or D. So let's find out who will be graduating first, second, third, and on in our classroom, in our graduation class. If you started here in PK3, preschool, yes, well, 3-year-old, as a 3-year-old, preschool 3-year-old, stand up. You started here as a 3-year-old, stand up. All right, see? Now you have to go second step. Who's first in the alphabet here? All right, there's your first. Who graduates first in your class will be Davis Bell. All right, keep standing, guys. Keep standing. All right, if you started here as a 4-year-old, stand up. All right, next round. You were 5 when you started here, kindergartners. All right. All right. You started here in 6th grade. I mean 6-year-old. 2nd grade. 3rd grade. 4th grade. All right. 5th grade. All right, we have a couple of 5th grade and 6th grade. All right, here's your first 2 or 3 rows of graduation right here. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, now this part of the program is a little more serious because I get to introduce to you who will be first and second in your class. Valedictorian. And as I call your name, come up here with me, please. So your 2019 salutatorian is Karina Popovic. All right. And your 2019 valedictorian, Soy Choi.
For making it to today with me, and the interactions I've had with each and every one of you has been really an unforgettable experience, and I've been really blessed to be able to go through high school at Holy Trinity, and I really want to thank Dr. Cobb and Ms. Bell today. I appreciate all of my teachers and all the faculty at Holy Trinity, but especially Dr. Cobb and Ms. Bell for really helping me through rough times, especially during my senior year. I honestly don't think there was a week during my first semester of senior year where I didn't barge into Ms. Bell's office with all my concerns, and I really want to thank her for always listening to what I had to say. If it wasn't for her, I really wouldn't be here. Yes. And I look forward to the rest of the year with you all. Thank you so much.
First, I'd like to thank Soy for getting me here, because I don't think I would be here without constantly being like, okay, well, Soy's working hard, you gotta work hard too, Karina. So, I would just like to thank everyone, and I know there's so many people in this room that have just worked so hard to be here, and especially all my AP Physics guys, to really pushing me and supporting me through everything, and I'd just like to thank all my teachers, especially Mr. Herntier, for really pushing me and believing in me, and also Ms. Pagan and Ms. Bell for making sure I got into college. That was key. So I'd just like to really thank everyone, and it's really an honor. Thank you.
I know I speak for everyone in this room, and we're so very proud of you, and we're also very grateful to have the two of you represent this beautiful class. Thank you.
Okay, and if we can have Soy and Karina and